Is India considering dumping the American GE F414 engines for the Tejas fighter jet? A stunning report in Money Control claims India is actively evaluating whether to partner with French engine maker Safran instead. In another bombshell revelation, Eurasian Times reports that the HAL has already signed an MOU with the French engine maker Safran dating back in 2021 for co-development of a fighter jet engine. Following this, Safran CEO had even met Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh back in July 2022. The Memorandum of Understanding mentions a high-thrust 110 kN thrust engine partnership. But could this be now used to power India's Tejas fighter jets, especially given the endless delays from the American side? In comparison, the GE F414 engine creates 98 kN of thrust, which is meant to power the Tejas Mk2s. Now, the HAL Safran MOU also mentions the assembly of the M88 engines in India for Indian Air Force Rafale jets. Can the agreement be revised to power the Tejas? The M88 is the same engine that powers the Rafale fighter jets, which was recently used to shatter Pakistan's Chinese-origin air defense shield. And while the Pakistani government spread fake propaganda over multiple Indian Rafale being shot, the French military has now given its first official reaction on the India-Pakistan air war. French military claims they have no confirmation yet if any Rafale has been hit. Meanwhile, the Indian Air Force has categorically stated that all of its pilots are safe and accounted for. Combined, this has burst all fake news headlines and propaganda which Pakistan government, with the help of Turkish and Chinese handles, has been spreading.
देखें कि beggars can't be choosers.
Coming back to the Tejas engine deal, any such move by India would be huge. Firstly, it would send a warning to Americans that engine delays are not acceptable and that India will not compromise on its national security. And secondly, the technical know-how gained from the Safran deal could be used to develop a more powerful engine for the 5th generation stealth fighter jet, the AMCA. But is the Indian Defence Ministry prepared to take such a huge decision? Not only have the GE F404 engine deliveries have caused delays in the Tejas Mk2 induction, talks have also been ongoing for months for 80% tech transfer for the more powerful F414 engines for the Tejas Mk2s. With the Tejas Mk2 prototype set to fly within months now, a deal has not been sealed for the engines. So can India afford similar delays as seen in the Tejas Mk1A program to repeat again? Should India now put a French engine into the Tejas Mk2s instead of depending on American GE engines? Let's take a closer look. India's air superiority future depends on the indigenous Tejas Mk1As and the bigger multi-role Tejas Mk2s. 180 Tejas Mk1As will be inducted and nearly 120 Tejas Mk2s will be used to phase out the older Mirage 2000s and the MiG-29 jets. The Tejas jets will not only be used to modernize the Indian Air Force with state-of-the-art indigenous missile systems, but also boost squadron numbers. With China now rushing its J-35 stealth fighters to Pakistan, the threat of a two-front war is real and India cannot afford delays. As the race to power India's 4.5 generation and the upcoming 5th generation fighters gain space, French firm Safran's engine has re-entered the competition. Top defense sources have revealed to Money Control that French aerospace and defense major Safran is again eyeing collaboration with the Indian Air Force and the HAL to develop the Tejas Mk2 engines, as the American GE F414 deal is not final yet. Now, France's Safran has been expanding its strategic footprint in India's aerospace industry. Pushing forward India's Make in India initiative, Safran is launching a facility for the maintenance, repair and overhaul, or MRO, of turbine-forged parts for LEAP engines in Hyderabad. Dr. D.K. Sunil, Chairman and Managing Director of the HAL, announced during Aero India 2025 show in Bengaluru in February, he claimed, quote, Safran and HAL are having a long-standing relationship, enriched over the past decades through joint development of the Shakti helicopter engine, which also paved the way for co-design and co-development of the IMRH engine. We are delighted to take this collaboration to the next level and support their LEAP engine production with critical nickel ring forgings, unquote. Now, this is the 6th such MRO facility built by Safran in India, underscoring its commitment to supporting India's growing aviation sector. So, French Safran is helping develop a complete aerospace ecosystem in India, promising unprecedented power for India's military helicopter fleet as well, along with the fighter jets. Further exemplifying its strategic investments, Safran is not only co-developing a Aravali engine chosen to propel the Indian multi-role helicopter with the HAL, but also setting up a helicopter engine MRO facility in Goa. The advancing military cooperation with Safran proves that India considers France as a trustworthy partner and ally. Now, by considering Safran as a partner for developing engines for the Tejas Mk2 jets, again signifies that India is strategically diversifying its defense partnership. It would also be a major setback for American firm GE Aerospace, which potentially now stands to lose the world's biggest arms importer, India, as a potential partner. Now, what works in India's favor is that Safran's proposal will include full transfer of intellectual property rights, enabling India to have greater autonomy in engine design, development, and production. This aligns with India's broader goal of reducing dependency on foreign suppliers.
भारत माता की भारत माता की
The urgency to procure engines for India's Tejas Mk1s and Mk2s comes immediately after the Operation Sindoor and Indian Air Force strikes on 11 Pakistani air bases. Now, the Indian Air Force chief has warned of repeated project delays.
Timeline is given. Not a single project that I can think of has been completed on time.
As India faces a shortage of fighter jet squadrons and threats of a two-front war from Pakistan and China, the forces have realized the need for additional modern fighter jet, and that too in large numbers. The problem has been amplified by multiple delays of the delivery of 99 GE F404 engines to the HAL by March end. HAL had promised 12 Tejas Mk1As will fly this year, but not even one has entered service as of now, with engine delays the main cause. Back in March, reports confirmed the first engine had arrived from America, but there have been no more public confirmation of steady supplies. In February, Ministry of Defense tightened its nose by forming a high-level committee to examine the cause of delay and suggest measures for faster induction of fighter jets into the Indian Air Force. The committee is headed by Defense Secretary Rajesh Kumar Singh and consists of 5 members. Repeated delays in Tejas Mk1A fighter jet deliveries, coupled with an alarmingly low IAF squadron numbers, invited the wrath of the Indian Air Force chief even recently. The first open signal of a rift was visible in Aero India when the Indian Air Force chief was caught on camera by portal National Defense, rebuking the state-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Indian Air Force chief stated, quote, "I can only tell you what our requirements and our worries are. You have to elevate those worries and make us more confident. At the moment, I am just not confident of HAL, which is a very wrong thing to happen. I was promised that when I come here in February, 11 Tejas MT1As would be ready, and not a single one is ready," unquote. Since then, the Indian Air Force chief has openly criticized not just the HAL but DRDO as well for lackluster pace of innovation and delivery. So how has the HAL failed to deliver even a single fighter jet from the first tranche of 83 jets ordered in 2021? The deliveries of the 83 Tejas jets were supposed to begin in March 2024, 3 years after the deal was signed in 2021, costing a whopping 48,000 crore rupees or $6.8 billion. The delivery date has been extended multiple times due to either pending certifications of certain crucial components or supply chain issues with the engines. A similar delay with the GE F414 engines could potentially jeopardize the Indian Air Force's ability to engage in prolonged warfare, and that is just unacceptable. If Americans are unable to fulfill their contract obligations, then India must explore other options. In the face of a war with Pakistan and trade tensions simmering with Trump administration, the Narendra Modi government, and especially the Defense Ministry led by Rajnath Singh, faces a billion-dollar question. Can India still depend on America as a long-term defense ally, or should New Delhi replace the American GE engines with French Safran to power India's Air Force future? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button and subscribe to Inconnect News.